Boys, welcome to the channel. Today I'm bringing you premium tutorial guide content. Remember, if you like any of the content I produce on this channel, please consider subscribing. It helps. It's free. 90% of the people who watch my videos are not subscribed, and only you can change that by being one of the few and first to subscribe. You're gonna be one of the first 100 people to subscribe to this channel. It would be really cool, and I would love you for it. Thank you. So today we're bringing you a guide about how to aim in Apex Legends or in any other shooter you played in your entire life. I'm probably considering you probably new at shooters or something. This will help all the new people and advanced people. I've got a guide for advanced people that I probably will produce at one point in time. But let's go over the basics. First things first, your sensitivity. It has to be low. You need a low sensitivity to play shooters. Now let me explain. A low sensitivity may make you feel like you're just gonna move your mouse really slowly, or your controller analog stick really slowly. But guess what? Slow is good. In Apex Legends, people move kind of fast, but at the same time, if you can track them from afar while they're moving, like maybe one of those things out there, these little aim pedestals, whatever you call them, it's really good. And being able to move your reticle really slowly and have all that control is really good. Low sensitivity equals more control, especially for further ranges. You have a really slow sensitivity, you can make these micro adjustments really easily. It helps out a lot in long range and mid-range engagements. So you want to start out with a low sensitivity. Something, if you have a mouse, a standard mouse at 800 DPI, let's say a 1.1 or 1.2 for beginners, and you keep increasing that more and more as you get more comfortable. Okay, with that out of the way, then you want to make sure you're comfortable. How do you know you're comfortable with your sensitivity? Well, you take your reticle and you point it at something, and you just walk around and try to keep on target while you're walking around. Just do it side to side, just like this. Helps out a lot, so that you know whether or not you're actually gonna keep on target when you're shooting somebody. Imagine this guy is standing still, but if you couldn't keep on target while he's standing still like this, then you're not gonna keep on target when he's strafing side to side or doing some duck strafes or anything crazy. So you want to practice this. Do this on anything. Just do this on anything you want. Doesn't have to be somebody. You can even do this on that moving aim target over here. Try it. Just move side to side. Anything helps out. So you know what setting to start at. Something where you're pretty consistent. It might be really low. If it's low, like 0.8, it's okay. You're starting there because you need to train your arms. You know, muscle memory. It's all about your muscles. Okay, so a low sensitivity. And if you're worried about DPIs and things, consider 800 DPI and don't worry about anything else. Don't worry about how Shroud uses 400 DPI. Don't worry about all that other stuff. Go 800, be the standard. If you want to be different on your own time. Okay? This is a beginner's guide. All right. So aiming is not always predictable. It's not always based on your own specific aim. It's also based on your gun's specific recoil pattern. And Counter-Strike and Apex Legends and a bunch of other games, guns have a recoil pattern. So when you shoot it, it'll go in a certain pattern. Like this one right here, if you watch it go, it goes up, to the right a little bit, and to the left. It's pretty straight, to be honest. Let me get a gun that actually has some recoil that doesn't, you'll actually need to like anticipate a little bit. So like the flatline. The flatline goes up and to the left, and then to the right a little bit. Up and to the left, watch, right here, up and to the left and to the right. My bullet penetration isn't on. I probably should put that on. Let's see here. I'll do it later. But it's up and to the left and to the right. And if you keep full spring, up to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right. If you actually learn the spray pattern for these guns, you'll be able to keep on target, especially for the first few shots. I think after that, it doesn't matter all that much because it just goes left and right. It helps you keep on target and hit your shots pretty consistently. It's what you should really be worried about, is just the recoil pattern. And a lot of the Apex notes or patch notes will talk about how how the recoil pattern has changed a little bit, and they'll readjust it. Like the Havoc last season or season before that one's recoil pattern was just really, really bad and hard to control, specifically because people could just laser people with it pretty easily. I didn't even notice this, but it has a really big jump to the right from the start. So you might want to adjust for that as soon as you start shooting and just counter it. When you're doing recoil patterns, you want to counter what the recoil is. So the flat line is up and to the left, so you want to pull down and to the right. You always want to pull down when you're shooting these guns consistently, because guns recoil will push your aim upwards. So pull it down and to the right. With guns like the G7 Scout, you don't need to worry about having to pull down very much. You just kind of shoot because it's a single fire. Okay. And then one thing you can do for guns like this, like the G7 Scout, is practice flicking onto their head. It'll help you when you want to work on that specific muscle memory. Just flick onto their heads, just adjust ever so slightly over and over again. Just work on your flicks. Flicking is a hard concept, and you might want to stray away from single fire weapons, even though they're really good. Like the G7 Scout, I think is one of the best guns in the game. And the classic Wingman. They're really good, but they're really hard for beginners, and it's going to be hard for you if you're not good at flicking. Another really important part, this tutorial might go on a little long, another really important part of aiming is your crosshair placement. And this is doubly so for Valorant and all those really short time to kill games. Because your crosshair placement basically helps you get your first shot off and the subsequent shots afterwards. All right, so let's say I'm playing the game and I see this happen a lot. Is if I'm walking around and I'm looking on the ground, that's bad crosshair placement. What are you looking at? What are you looking at, his toes? What are those? Like, what is this? You don't want to shoot him at his leg. That's 26 damage compared to 34. Plus, you'll have to readjust anyways. You want to aim at head height so that when the person comes across the corner, let's say that, you'll be just right in spot, or right at the spot where you need to be to hit them in their head. Get that first hit headshot off and get that extra bonus damage. It's very important. That extra bonus damage could win you the entire gunfight. Like, understand, this is very important. Always keep your crosshairs at head height. Head height all the time. Now, if you're not as, savvy, you might want to keep it at chest height, but try to keep it at head height. Try not to aim a little too high. And if they're ducking, you bring it down to chest height. You might want to duck also, it helps. And just keep it there. These are the most important things. So to recap, you want a low sensitivity. You want to practice your tracking. And you want to keep your crosshair placement at head height. Every time, all the time. You do not want to look on the ground as you're playing the game. There's nothing to look there. There's nothing to see on the ground. And you can look in the sky, but honestly, nobody walks around like this, to be honest. Let's just, people more or not, look on the ground and just do whatever. But keep your crosshair at head height. Now, I don't want this video to go on too long, so I'm just gonna produce this. Oh, and follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/chocolatebeef. Same name as the channel. And I'll see you guys next time.